All right, so our new set of notes is going to be looking at the cell organelle. We looked at last time and found that the cells are the smallest unit of life. Now we're going to look at what a cell is made up of, and it's made up of different organelles. So, in the anticipation guide, we're going to look at 3 and 4. 3 is all cells have a chloroplast to help them make their own food. True or false on the left-hand side. Number 4, DNA, or genetic information, is found in the nucleus of each cell. True or false on the left-hand side. Okay, go back to the notes. We're going to start with A, organelle. A cell that serves a specific function. So there are 2 separate cells that we could look at. One being the plant cell right here, and the other being the animal cell right here. Okay, so in the cells, these organelles, which make up the cell, help it to function. Kind of like when we look at an atom. An atom is made up of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Just like that, atoms being the smallest unit of matter, cells are the smallest unit of life, and they're made up of organelles that help to make the cell work properly. So the first thing we have is the mitochondria. It's this eggy-looking shape thing with a squiggly line in it. So this mitochondria is where the sugar is broken down. The sugar in the system is broken down, or the sugar in the cell is broken down and made into energy. And then, this is very, very specific. Only to plants can you find a chloroplast. And this chloroplast in the plants performs photosynthesis. So it makes chlorophyll, or the green part of the plant. And the photosynthesis, you know, that's taking light and making energy, making food from the light. All right, and then we have, and pardon my way of saying this, I say it wrong. I'm not exactly sure how to say this, but the Golgi complex. These are organelles that package and distribute protein. So protein is made in the cell, and this complex takes those proteins, packages, put them together, and then distributes them in the cell. And you can see here's some right here, here's some right there. So it's in both of them. Okay, and then you have the lysome. These are organelles that dispose of broken or worn parts. Right here, typically you see them in only animal cells. You will see some every so often in a plant cell, but for the most part, you will find them in the animal cells. And then you get the vacuole. I did not put a plant cell on here, but plant cells do have the vacuoles too. These are where the water is stored or other liquids. And you can see a little tiny one right there. And again, plant cell, there's the huge vacuole. Another distinct thing to plant cells only is a cell wall. This gives the support to the outermost part of the cell. Think of it like support beams type thing in a house that helps support the house on the outside. So that's the kind of like the same thing, the cell wall. Now you have the cell membrane. The cell membrane is the barrier of the cell. Think of it as like in a house, the outer walls, not the support beams like the cell wall in a plant only, but it's like the walls going up around. It protects the house, just like it protects the cells, what is inside the cells, all the organelles in the cells. And then you have a cytoplasm. Please change it from cytoskeleton to a cytoplasm. So this eye acts as a muscle and a skeleton at the same time, keeping the cell's membrane from collapsing and helping it to move. So in the last set of notes with the amoeba, you saw it moving around. That was the cytoplasm. Right there. All right. And then you have the nucleus. This is like one of the important things in the cell. Sorry. This holds the cell's DNA, the building blocks for that specific type of cell, whether it be a plant cell or an animal cell. And then you have the ribosome. So those are these little tiny blue dots right there. They make proteins. Remember how I said the complex, the Golgi complex? So that packages the proteins and then it delivers them. Distributes. The ribosomes, those little tiny blue dots right there, they make the proteins for the cell, which are then internally delivered or transported to this complex through the endoplasmic reticulum. So again, these little tiny blue dots right there are all ribosomes. And you can see you have the endoplasmic reticulum in both cells. And they have the ribosomes, which the ribosomes make the proteins. The endoplasmic reticulum, they internally deliver them or transport system to the complex, and then the complex packages them up and then distributes them where they need to go. All right. Quiz time. Quiz 2. I do cell organelles or organelles. So which group of organelles will keep harmful things out of the plant and animal cells? Like it keeps them out. Is it the ribosome, mitochondria, cytoplasm, or cell membrane? This is going to be the cell membrane. Remember, the membrane is kind of like the walls to a house. You want to keep the house, everybody inside the house protected, so you have the walls. Number 2, which cell holds DNA information and controls the cell? So it holds that DNA, the building blocks. Is it the ribosome, mitochondria, nucleus, or cell membrane? This is going to be the nucleus. All right. Which organelle does a plant cell have to make its own food using the sun or photosynthesis? Cytoplast, ribosome, mitochondria, or Golgi complex. This is going to be the chloroplast. Right there. Think of like chlorophyll, chloroplast, green. All right. The dots, those blue dots on the endoplasmic reticulum are what? Is it the ribosome, cytoplasm, mitochondria, or Golgi complex? This is going to be the ribosomes that make the protein that get transferred from here to the complex and then distributed. Speaking of, what does the endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi complex have in common? Do they break down food, protect the cell, they're organelles, or they control the cell? So this one, think simple. This is that they're organelles. These are both organelles. All the things that I've talked about so far were organelles in the cell that help the cell to function. All right, let's go back to number 3 in the anticipation guide. All cells have a chloroplast to help them make their own food. True, false? This is going to be false. Only plant cells have chloroplasts that perform photosynthesis. Number 4, DNA or genetic information is found in the nucleus of each cell. True or false? This one's going to be true. DNA is in each cell, whether it's a plant or an animal. All right, let's go to the summary. So the roles of various organelles. There's so many organelles. What I would like you to do, instead of doing this and telling me what they do, I would like you to star some. You're going to star or highlight or underline things that we want to focus on. A, B, and C, and then you're going to do F through J. Star all those letters. Those are the ones that you kind of want to focus on. And now we're going to get to the last one. Which organelles are only found in plants? There are 2 organelles that are only found in plants. The first type we have is the chloroplast. Its role is to perform photosynthesis to make food for the plant cell, to make food for the cell. And then the next thing we have is the cell wall, and that is the structures that help to support the cell. All right, so that is it for the notes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I hope you guys have a great day.